Hi there, thanks for joining me. I'm digital artist Aaron Rutten, and in this video, I'll be reviewing the new Wacom Intuos Pro. The Wacom Intuos Pro is the professional version of the Intuos, and it has a lot of really cool features. It's a really awesome tablet, and it's fun to work with. So, first of all, the main features are, of course, it comes with a pen like all tablets. Pen has an eraser. The tablet has some really cool express keys. There's 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom that you can use for some different commands. You can program them to do just about anything. There is a nice radial menu here, which you can use to zoom in and zoom out of your artwork when you're painting. And best of all, this is touchpad capable, so I can just use my finger to navigate my mouse cursor and zoom and pan my page. Also, the Intuos Pro comes with a wireless accessory standard. So if you want to make this wireless, it's really easy to do. You don't even have to buy the upgrade. So really quickly, before I get too much into testing this, let's just take a look at how to do that. I've already taken the time to install the drivers that I got from Wacom's website, and I recommend that you install the latest drivers for the Intuos Pro. Once you've got them installed, then your tablet will be working. I'm going to just unplug this temporarily from my computer and show you how easy it is to install the wireless accessory. So we have 3 parts. We have the USB transmitter that goes into your computer, we have the transmitter that goes into your tablet, and we have the battery. So on the back of the tablet here, there's these 2 compartments. You just kind of slide them up gently. The one on the right is for the battery, and you want the metal contacts to be touching the metal contacts, so you want the battery to be going in this way here. Slide this back on. Take off the other compartment gently, kind of wiggle it a little bit to get it off here. It doesn't want to let go. And we'll put in the other transmitter. And we'll slip the cover back on. Now, there is a button you can press to turn the wireless on and off. And then behind this other little compartment here, there's a little door where you can put the little transmitter in so you don't lose it. So I'm going to plug the transmitter in. And it'll take a couple seconds to recognize the device and install the drivers. And then we'll have a working wireless tablet. Now this is really cool because I can sit over on my couch and draw on my TV that's across the room. So now that our tablet's drivers are installed, I'll turn the wireless on. There we go. And you'll know that it's on when you see the lights come on your tablet here. I'll hold it up so you can see. The little white LED lights have come on, so we know that the tablet is now on. And you can see there's no cables plugged in here at all. And my tablet works. Pen works, everything works really well. So as far as the specs on this tablet, I'm on their website now, and I'm just going to scroll down and we'll go over some of the specs. So it has 2048 pressure levels for the tip and the eraser. That's basically when you're drawing, you can push down harder or lighter and you'll get a different amount of opacity or pen pressure. I'll show you that in Painter in a minute. There's also pin tilt. So depending on how you tilt the pen, it can recognize the angle of your pen. And the LPI is the lines per inch resolution, and that is also very high on this particular tablet. And the LPI resolution basically just describes the amount of sensitivity that the tablet has. So when you're drawing, if it has more resolution and more sensors, you can draw finer lines. So rather than try to really explain this to you in a technical way, I'll just draw and I'll just show you. So this is the pressure sensitivity here in Corel Painter. So if I push down light, I get a thin line, and if I push down hard, I get a thick line, and I can get anything in between. So this is the levels of pressure sensitivity for the pen. And of course there is an eraser which also has pressure sensitivity. You just flip the pen over and you can erase. Flip it back over and you can draw again without having to switch tools. Now the LPI is the sensitivity of the tablet, or the resolution. So you can draw really, really fine, really close, detailed lines, really close together without any trouble because of the amount of resolution this tablet has. So really it just allows you to make more accurate, more natural drawings than you would be able to with something like a Bamboo, which has a lot less resolution. And the coolest feature of all is the touchpad feature. So you'll have to have the touchpad feature enabled in Painter, which is under the general menu of Edit, and you have to check this Enable Multi-Touch Device. And now if I use 2 fingers here, then I can do some pretty cool stuff. So I don't know if you can tell, but I have 2 fingers, and if I move them further apart or closer together, then I can zoom in and zoom out. If I push up and down or side to side with 2 fingers, I can pan my canvas around. So I could really zoom in here and really get to any part of this that I want, rotate it all around, and it's a really cool feature. So you can customize this touchpad, and you can customize all of these different shortcuts too. I can also zoom in and out with my radial menu here. I have all these different express keys that I can use for different things. I have this particular bottom express key set to undo, so you can see I can do undos by pressing it. We could really set it to do just about anything. And so to do that, you'll have to go to your control panel, and in your control panel there is a option for Wacom tablet properties, and if we open that, we'll be able to configure all of this stuff. So we can configure the tip feel, which is really helpful. I tend to press down really hard when I write and when I draw, so it's usually better for me if I set this to firm. And you can test the amount of pressure by pressing down lighter or harder here in this little meter. You can change the tilt sensitivity. You can change the way that the 2 buttons function. We can go to eraser. You can change the eraser's pressure and everything. If we go to mapping, this will let us select which monitor we want to use with our tablet. And since I only have 1 screen here, this isn't going to be an issue. But if I was working on my desktop, I have 2 screens, and so I might need to pick which screen I want my tablet to work on. You could also use both if you wanted to, but I prefer to just work on one. It tends to work a little bit better. And then we can go to the functions tool. If you want to set these different express keys here, you can make these do just about anything you want by changing all of these little options here. If we go to the touch option, then we can change the pointer speed. There's the standard gestures tab, which gives us some different ideas of what we can do to control the screen with our touchpad. And you can set all of these to do different things. And then grip pen. Again, this is just to kind of tweak the feel of the pen. So you can see this is a really nice, really customizable tablet. If you're left-handed and not right-handed, there's also a way you can switch this, and then you could just flip the tablet over and it's an ambidextrous tablet. So let's go back into Painter, do a little bit more drawing so I can show you the pressure sensitivity on this tablet here. So let's try airbrush, and we'll check out the opacity. So I'm pushing down really light and now really hard. Then I can kind of get some different effects here. Let's try it with the chalk brush. So if I push down really light with the chalk, get a little bit of texture. If I push down really hard, I get a lot of coverage. There's also the pen tilt. I don't know if you can see, but the little icon has a little line, and that represents how I'm tilting my pen. So this is usually most useful with something like a pencil. So we'll just grab a pencil here and we'll see how this works. I'll just use a colored pencil, and if we draw upright we get this kind of line. But we could also draw with the side of it, and then we get something a little more like what you would get if you're working with a real colored pencil. You get kind of more of the paper grain. It breaks up a little bit more, and if I rotate my pen back up, you can see I get a thicker, bolder line. So that's the pen tilt. Overall, this tablet is really nice looking. It's very thin. It's not too heavy. It still manages to fit in a laptop bag, even though it's the medium size. They also make this in small and large. The small I think is about 4x6, and the large is pretty close to 9x12. This is about 8x6 approximately. And again, it can be wireless, or you can plug it in through USB. Works really well. It kind of saves you from having to use your trackpad here on your computer. I think that's really nice. So I definitely recommend this tablet for professional artists. You can get these tablets from Wacom's website, wacom.com, or you can go to my website and I have links to these tablets. You can also buy them on Amazon or on eBay, so they're pretty much everywhere. One thing to mention before I end this is that Wacom's done some rebranding. So there used to be the Intuos and the Intuos 2 and the Intuos 3 and the Intuos 4 and even the Intuos 5. And these were all progressively better models of basically the same tablet. But now Wacom has rebranded and just decided just to call this the Intuos Pro and to call the Bamboo the Intuos. So if you're doing a search on the web for Intuos, hopefully you'll get the Intuos Pro or the Intuos, the newer models and not the older ones. And if you do, that's something to watch out for. If you're confused as to whether or not you want the Intuos 4, the Intuos 5, or the Intuos Pro, you want the Intuos Pro because it's the newest. It does cost a little more because it's new, but the technology is way, way better than the older versions. And be forewarned that there was the original Intuos, the very first Intuos, which is something that's really, really old technology. So don't get that confused with the new Intuos, which used to be called the Bamboo. So anyways, that's the end of my review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on this video. And if you found this information helpful, take a quick second to like this video and share it on YouTube, and that'll make it easier for other artists out there to find this information. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.